got good oil pressure, good oil temperature. See if anything changed with our weather.
For information, X-ray meter observation 21530, wind calm, visibility 10, sky clear, temperature 30, dew point 10, altimeter 3007, visual runway 23 right approaching you, landing departing runways 23 right and 27. Notice airman 23 left is closed, pavement remaining portion of runway 22 north of 23 right is taxi.
That's Willow Run actually. So Willow Run, just on the other side of 94, the big airport there, they provide weather information for their airport. But we can kind of assume you'll be 3 miles away. It's pretty similar. We just kind of use that. We also, because we're so close, we'll actually talk to them before we take off, let them know what we're going to be doing. So we got all that set. Taxi light, we'll turn back on. Go ahead and taxi for the runway. So first I'll use, the rudder once we start getting moving. Then once we're actually rolling, we have some speed, I can use brake to help me turn.
So you're actually pushing in for the direction that you want to turn.
Correct, yep. So I'll have you go ahead and we just want to go straight here so you can put your feet on the very bottom of the pedals there. And we won't turn left or right with this, we'll just leave it alone. But if we want to go to the right, just push down with your right foot a little bit. We'll back taxi that runway there, so I'll go ahead and make the call. Actually, you know what? Looks like the wind's favoring the other runway. Let's go to the right. You can just press down your right foot. Bill, traffic sky 38 Yankee, back taxi runway 15 Belleville. Add in a little power here. It's kind of funny, isn't it? You really want to reach forward with your hands and turn. Yeah. It's funny when I teach people, usually students, because they always want to do that, we may just make them sit on their hands.
Yeah.
But actually when we get really gusty conditions, we'll set the ailerons a certain way. Like if we had a really strong tailwind coming from the left, we would dive away from it, and I'll put that aileron down on that wing. Make sure that wing doesn't accidentally get picked up by the wind gusts.
Would you like to make a 1P and back taxi the runway? Back taxi 23 right.
Now how different is it taking off a grass field versus a...
It's a little different. We try to actually get up in the air as soon as possible, and so we'll take off before we're ready almost, just to get the wheels out of the grass. Then we'll fly, just about a foot above the ground, accelerate to our proper airspeed, and then climb out. So you'll see that I'll be kind of pulling pretty hard to get us up in the air, and then as soon as we're up, I'll release a little pressure, we'll come down, and then we'll accelerate for just a few seconds, and I'll go ahead and grab the pedals there. I'll actually swing around the side here.
Charlie Papa, wind is actually 3606. Would you take off? Left right there? Charlie Papa, Roger. Squawking 1200, runway 5 left, clear to take off on left turn on course to Ann Arbor. And off the field, you can expect 3.
Taxi forward here and get better radio reception to them. Alright, we'll do our before takeoff checklist. Our brakes on, flight controls are free and correct, they won't run into us. Primer's in and locked. Our trim's set for takeoff, and that little red range there. We'll rev our engine up and just check it, make sure it's running right. Got good oil pressure, good oil temperature, good suction on our vacuum pump. Check that our carburetor heat works. It does, it heats the air and makes the engine actually run lower RPM. Check our magnetos left, looks good. Right one looks good. Both. So 2 spark plugs per cylinder, and we can actually isolate, just 1 spark plug per cylinder or the other one. And that way we know that, all 12 are working good by, checking just the left and just the right side.
How did you do that?
Just switching the key here. We're set to both, and then we can switch the key to the left magneto. We see the drop, right magneto, a little bit of a drop. And the reason is, basically, if you put more spark plugs in a cylinder, it'll burn the fuel mixture a little quicker. Runs a little better, so we run off both. The only reason we have 2 is just in case one ever failed in flight, the engine's just going to keep on ticking, you wouldn't even really realize it. So everything's set there, I'll go ahead and set our flaps 10 degrees for the takeoff. I'll call Willow Run. We'll run tower, Skyhawk 153 Yankee on the ground at Belleville, be departing runway 15 westbound to Ann Arbor.
53 Yankee, will tower approved as requested. We'll run altimeter 3007, wind 0107.
3007 will be out for about 30 minutes. That TFR is going into effect at 6:45 local, correct?
3 Yankee, our best estimate is around that time, possibly a little earlier.
Roger, 3 Yankee, we'll stay in touch with you just so we can get back in here to Belleville. Alrighty, we can go ahead and close that window now. We're getting ready for takeoff. And last check.
Contact Ann Arbor Tower 120.3.
Ann Arbor Tower.
Low pressure, oil temperature good. Landing light will turn on. And we're all set. So I'll just rev up the engine a little bit here. Release brakes. And we're good to go. Once we accelerate a little bit here, I'll start pulling harder. See the nose come up. We're up in the air. I'm flying nice and close to the ground. Got good airspeed, and we'll slowly climb away.
And when you say you'll slowly climb away, will you pull it back?
I'm actually, because of the way I'm trimmed, I'm actually pushing forward right now. But slowly climb away just means I'll increase my pitch just ever so slightly. So I climb away, I develop more lift, and I climb about 500 feet a minute. I don't want to try to climb away abruptly because we just don't quite have enough power and we lose airspeed. You know, so I climb away basically within the limitations of the airplane. When I was flying with your son, we saw a jet take off out of Willow Run, and he was almost, 45 degrees right up. He goes, wow, he climbs a lot quicker than we do. Yeah.
Not paying for his own fuel either, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Can't beat the view.
Oh no, it's beautiful up here.
So we're not in their airspace?
We are actually in Willow Run's airspace. And so that's
that's Willow Run, not...
Yep, that's Willow Run. Detroit is just off our side there, a little hard to see in the haze.
Yeah.
Then Willow Run, Ann Arbor we'll see in just a few minutes here off our left side. We fly over that way. Willow Run, they've got the Thunderbirds coming in around 6:45, and so that's why I keep watching my watch. They were supposed to be here at 2 p.m. and be done at 4, so it wasn't going to affect our flight today. And they kept delaying, and they'll let us know, right about what time they'll be coming back, and we'll hang out up here basically as long as we can until they tell us that we're in their way.
As long as they don't mistake us for a target drone.
Pretty much. We're about 1,000 feet above the ground. We're at 1,800 feet. Reduce power a little bit. And like I said, trim, if I let go, we rise a little bit, so I'll trim nose down. That'll hold us in level flight. And I'll let you go ahead and take the flight controls. And yep, just go ahead and grab right on there. You want to go to the left, you turn to the left, and eventually, once the wings are banked, we'll start tracking left. You want to go to the right, same thing, turn to the right, and then just hold it there for a little bit, and we'll start tracking that way. Of course, up and down, push forward, pull back.
So this says we're level, but I didn't really feel level.
You have to set it on the ground. We typically don't, just because we fly visually.
Oh, okay.
And so, I really actually kind of ignore that. When we do instrument flying through clouds, we configure everything, and this particular airplane, I don't really care for taking it through clouds. Usually I like to have, 3 of those on board. So that way, if one starts getting funky, you can trust the 2 that seem to match each other. When you're in the clouds, you really have no idea which way is up or down. So you just have to kind of make your best guess. Yeah, we can push forward a little bit there. We'll stay somewhere between 2,000 and 2,500. That says we're at 2,300 right now.
Where's the altimeter?
Right over here. He request frequency change over to Ann Arbor. We'll be back with you in 10 minutes.
3 Yankee, frequency change approved.
Frequency change approved, 3 Yankee. I'll go ahead and call Ann Arbor, just let them know where we're at. Ann Arbor Tower, Skyhawk 153, Yankee 5 miles east, transit your Delta over the stadium.
Aircraft calling 5 miles to the east, say your numbers again.
Skyhawk 153 Yankee.
Skyhawk 3 Yankee, Ann Arbor Tower approved into an request out there, space altimeter 3007, wind to the airport, calm.
3007, 38 Yankee. So we'll track a little bit northbound actually. We're heading west, so we'll head about maybe a 300 heading, you know, a little northwest. And this is 94, we're over right now. Ann Arbor Airport, a little hard to see, the sun is just off our left side there, about 11 o'clock.
We have Aviation Center, the blue building you're just passing, or
and
Aviation
then 12 o'clock right in front of us. We'll see it a little closer in about a minute or so is the stadium and Chrysler Arena.
Alright, we'll take the one at the base of the tower there.
Princess 5 Charlie Papa, taxi terminal ramp via Alpha Charlie, remains frequency.
Alpha Charlie will stay with you, 5 Charlie Papa.
Cessna 0 Whiskey, Echo, left turn northwestbound approved, runway 6, clear for takeoff, wind calm.
Cleared for takeoff, then left turn northwest, 0 Whiskey Echo.
What is your maximum ceiling on
Be
this?
advised, Cessna traffic departing,
About
runway
14,000
6 will be
feet is
northwestbound.
as high as we can go. And we measure everything in MSL, or mean sea level. So right now, you know, like that says, we're 2,200 feet. We're really only 1,400 feet above the ground.
Cessna 3 Yankee, copy.
3 Yankee, say again.
Cessna 3 Yankee, be advised, Cessna traffic departing, runway 6 will be northwestbound.
Roger, 3 Yankee looking. And so, you know, we're actually, you know, above the Atlantic Ocean, you know, we're 2,200 feet. Great Lakes are about 500 feet, I think, above the level of Atlantic Ocean. We can track a little bit just to the right there. We'll aim right for the stadium.
Cessna 0 Whiskey Echo.
About 12 o'clock.
At your 12 to 1 o'clock, 3 miles, Cessna inbound to circle the stadium, altitude indicating 2,200.
Looking for traffic, 0 Whiskey Echo.
Cessna 38 Yankee.
So I hear people talking in the background.
3 Yankee, say again.
Cessna 38 Yankee, that Cessna traffic just off the departure end.
Negative contact, 3 Yankee. That was the tower, and they were actually talking to us and letting us know there's a little airplane that just took off out of there. They'll be turning out probably before they get towards us, but we'll turn a little bit back to the right here. And I can actually see them, their landing light turned on. If you see that little light just to the left of the runway.
Oh, yeah.
Around, you said northwest tees?
Traffic side 3 Yankee.
Farrell 4 Golf Whiskey, runway 6, taxi via Alpha, cross runway 12.
And it's purely visual, right?
Cessna traffic,
Correct.
they have you in sight. Cessna 0 Whiskey Echo, that's Cessna traffic's at your 11 o'clock, 1 mile, altitude indicating 2,200.
Okay, 0 Whiskey Echo.
Cessna Mike Papa, frequency change approved today.
Have a good day, thank you. Turn on license, microphone.
Not many people get this view of the stadium.
Nope, it's pretty unique. Pretty neat too when it's all filled up with people in it.
Yeah.
Tower, Stardust 45 Golf Golf, ready for departure, runway 6, will be northbound over the
Actually,
stadium
we're
and returning.
Flying over my boss's house.
Oh,
yeah?
Runway 6, clear for
You can go ahead and keep making a left turn. We'll do a circle right over the stadium.
6 clear. clear for takeoff, left turn now.
As we turn left, you can pull back a little bit. Whenever we turn, the wings lose a little bit of, vertical lift to generate that horizontal turning force. So just by pulling back, we kind of compensate for that.
Cessna 0 Whiskey Echo, you still have that traffic in sight?
Affirmative, we're turning more to the north as he turns south.
Roger, thanks. Cessna 38 Yankee, be advised, Stardust traffic departing. Runway 6 will also be circling over downtown.
3 Yankee, Roger, we'll keep an eye out.
What would be the stall speed?
Be advised, Cessna
Stall speed, actually,
over downtown,
at the bottom of that arc there, about 45 indicated.
We'll be looking.
So we can go ahead and turn 180 degrees, head back towards the north.
Hanover Tower, helicopter 157 uniform.
And as we increase the load factor, as we pull harder, stall speed actually increases. So that's like, they call it the unaccelerated stall speed.
To the north.
So we can keep making that left turn towards the north.
Helicopter 70 from Mike departure, drone risk, altimeter 3007, wind to the airport calm. You do have a Cessna just passing about a mile to your west, altitude indicating 2,500, heading north-northwestbound.
So we'll just fly right over downtown. The harder we pull, the higher the stall speed increases.
Departed, you're from hospital heading northbound, altitude indicating 1,300 at this time, and climbing has you in sight.
We'll be watching for him.
Life flight, maybe?
Yep, he just departed the hospital, and they said he was heading northbound. So he'll be flying away from us.
We have the helicopter, 0 Whiskey Echo.
When we pull back harder and you feel the G-forces, the airplane, theoretically weighs more, and so it's more weight for the wings to support, and that's why it'll stall at a higher airspeed. It's just like loading up, more weight to the airplane.
Just checking on the other traffic over the city.
So I'm obviously all over the altitude map here, right?
2 miles north
not too bad. You're, if it makes you feel any better, you're doing better than your son. Pardon? You're doing better than your son.
Cessna 38 Yankee Tower.
3 Yankee.
Cessna 3 Yankee, Willow just called, and they said if you want to go back to Willow, the TFR is going to...
So how does an experienced pilot...
So that's your window.
I've got the flight controls for a sec. 3 Yankee, we're on course to Willow at this time.
Cessna 3 Yankee, roger, on course approved.
So we're just trying to squeeze ourselves in there before they close down the airspace for about 2 hours.
Okay.
Unless you brought some reading material for a 2-hour-long flight. But you can go ahead and take back over. Now we're just going to head for that grassy patch just to the south of it, just to its right, kind of right between those lakes and the
indicating 2,000 is heading east
and the airport there. And that's Willow Run Airport, that green patch. Okay. I'm sorry, what were you saying though when I cut you off?
I forgot.
Oh yeah. Maybe it'll come back to you. Got them dialed in.
I think I was just going to ask, how steady is an experienced pilot able to keep it?
Usually within about 20 feet.
20 feet?
Yeah, plus or minus 20. On long flights, when we get tired, whatever, flying here to Florida, plus or minus 100. It's pretty common.
For 38 Yankee, frequency change to Willow Run approved.
Frequency change approved, 38 Yankee. Willow Tower, Skyhawk 153 Yankee, 7 miles west, inbound Belleville. Willow Tower, Skyhawk 153 Yankee.
3 Yankee, continue towards Belleville right now. It appears that they're trying to put the TFR into effect in 2 minutes. So if you could remain outside of our class Delta for now, we're calling with approach to try and get you in.
3 Yankee, roger, we'll remain clear of the Delta, we'll head southbound.
Is there anybody from Thunderbird's ground control on Willow Tower frequency? Thunderbird control, heavy, loud and clear. We do have an aircraft that wants to land at Belleville,
we'll go ahead and head a little
which is
to the
about
south here.
4 south of our field on the very southwestern part of our airspace. Oh, 5 minutes, if you can. Will that be all right?
A little bit more to the south. That's good there. Very good.
Roger, I'll let you know. Cessna 3 Yankee, can you be on the ground in 5 minutes at Belleville?
5 to 6 minutes, we'll be on the ground, 3 Yankee.
3 Yankee, do what you can. Class Delta surface area transition is approved.
3 Yankee, Roger, on course Belleville right now. And so we're going to go ahead and head towards Belleville. I've got the flight controls for you. Head us over there. We'll see how fast our airplane can fly.
Tower, Thunder Control, request to speak from the west ramp, the effective golf, just on the west edge of the ground line.
Home towers again.
Tower, Thunder Control, request to speak from the west ramp on effective golf, reposition just in front of the cloud line to the west.
Thunderbird Control, proceed as requested.
So we're doing about 140 miles an hour over the ground right now. A little bit more efficient way to travel than driving your car down 94.
Yeah, it sure is. How many, no, it's probably not the right term, but how many miles per gallon do you get?
Usually about 8 to 10 miles per gallon. Three Yankees, 3 minutes to wheels down.
3 Yankee, Roger. Calm Tiger, step down.
Tower, Thunderbird Control.
Thunderbird Control, go ahead.
Yes, sir, jet CCA is 2245 Zulu. I would like to coordinate for the airspace CFR sanitized at 2240, 1840 local.
Thunderbird Control, that'll work out just perfect for us, and you can have the you can consider the airspace yours at 2240, time now 2231 and 3/4.
Alright, CA copy, sorry, Thunder Control copies, I'll have the airspace at 2240. What's the status of the traffic going into Belleville?
That traffic will be on the ground in the next 2 minutes.
Thunder Control copy, sir, if you will, please just give me a call when he's on the ground.
Will do. 3 Yankee, you can switch over to Belleville Tower. I'm glad we got you in.
3 Yankee, appreciate all the help, and can we just get a wind check?
3105.
3 Yankee, appreciate it. So the airport is actually just off our left side there. We can kind of see the yellow cones on just to the left of that tree line. So I've got my carburetor heat on. Keeps the carburetor warm at lower power settings. Pretty unlikely, but could develop carburetor ice. So just as a precaution, we always turn it on for approach. Reduce power, we pitch up a little bit to slow down. Then once we're within flap speed, we start dropping our flaps, helps us slow down even more.
Do you take the trim off?
The trim, I actually trim nose up, just because once we get slow down towards the ground, it'll be really heavy for me to pull up on. So right now I'm actually pushing forward. If I let go, the nose comes up. But I'd rather fight it out here, you know, pushing forward, and then once I get close to the ground, it'll help me out.
Easier.
Yeah. We'll use 40 degrees of flaps, makes it a nice steep approach. And normally we would self-announce, you know, since there's no control tower here, we'd let everyone know what we're doing, all the other pilots on the ground. There's no one else flying out here tonight, and we're kind of, you know, trying to beat the fighters taking off of Willow Run, so.
Are they taking off to do their show, or?
Actually, just do what they call an
aircraft is just now
aerial
on the
survey.
ground at Belleville Field, and we have nothing in the airspace.
They're just doing kind of a test flight.
Okay.
Reduce power, let it come down to the ground. Then we just hold it off.
Remember, ground control, proceed as requested.
Reduce flaps. Ground a little bit better. Turn off our carburetor heat. Get rid of the last little bit of flaps there. It's a pretty good arrival when you land on grass.
A little softer?
It's not, when you're on pavement, I mean, you don't even feel the touchdown, then you roll out nice and smooth, but it's just not any fun.
Oh.
Coming in here, it's, I mean, you can feel it on the takeoff, it's pretty bumpy.
That old-timey feel.
Yeah.
Use the same lights now?
Same lights? For landing, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to just leave them on almost the entire flight. They're really bright, and as soon as we're turning, especially if we're ever like head on with another aircraft, it's impossible to miss in the air. Even in the daytime, they're just so bright that you see it real well. It's real funny, the wind here. Like, we took off going the other direction into the wind, then we landed with a little bit of a tailwind, even though Willow Run reported the wind's going, basically they reported the total opposite direction. But it's funny how 3 miles things can change.
Yeah, I used to do a lot of sailboat racing. You could have the wind change in 30 feet.
Yeah. Go ahead and we'll pull up right over there.